Good evening, children. Welcome to the school foundation program from Turito for class 8th. I am the chemistry teacher, and in the previous class we have started discussing about the atomic structure, right? And in that we have finished, we have gone through or we have discussed the discovery of electron, proton and neutron, the fundamental particles, okay? And in the last class we have even gone through some of the questions which we can expect in the main level examinations, okay. So today let us focus on some of the questions that we can expect at a higher level, that is advanced level, okay. So first question, if we observe, the cathode rays are made up of, so they are asking us to what is the cathode ray exactly. So cathode ray tube experiment was done by J.J. Thomson. We know that using the discharge tube experiment, he has taken a gas and in that he has reduced the pressure and applied a high voltage across the metal plates, so that the gas inside can be ionized and rays are produced, and they are travelling, they are supposed to be travelling from the cathode to the anode. Since they are moving towards the anode and since they are looking like coming from the cathode, they are named as cathode rays. So the cathode rays are made up of, and we have seen for example in the case if you observe the discharge tube experiment, the metal plate which is connected to the negative terminal of the battery is called as cathode, and the one which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery is called as anode, and these are the cathode rays are travelling in straight line towards anode. So the metal plate which is positively charged is anode, okay. So since the cathode rays are travelling towards a positive terminal, so we can say that these are the particles having a negative charge. So cathode rays are negatively charged particles. Of course, what are cathode rays? Cathode rays are nothing but the electrons. What are cathode rays? Cathode rays are electrons, okay. Next one. Mass of electron is nearly equal to dash the mass of one atom of hydrogen. So we have to compare the mass of electron to the mass of hydrogen. Hydrogen atom, in the sense, in this case you can take it as a proton, okay. Hydrogen atom, we know that hydrogen on ionization produces the hydrogen positive charge species, they are termed as protons, okay. So now we have to compare the mass of electron and the mass of proton. Mass of electron is nearly equal to how many times the mass of one atom of hydrogen, or the mass of proton we have to calculate. So for that purpose what we have to do, we know what is the mass of electron. Mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kilogram, okay. Whereas mass of proton, if we observe, it is coming out to be around 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kilogram, 27 kilogram. So what we have to do, we have to use this mass of electron to mass of proton, so that 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31, okay, divided by mass of proton 1.6 to 10 to the power of minus 27, okay. So when you go for the calculating this one, of course when minus 10 to the power of minus 27 goes upside, it becomes 10 to the power of plus 27, okay, plus 27 minus 31. So we are going to get around 4, 10 to the power of minus 4, okay. So mass of electron will be equal to, it will be around 1837, okay. Let me write in other way around, otherwise, so the mass of proton will be equal to, okay. So this will be equal to 9.1 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 4, okay. So if I am using the other way around, if I want to calculate the mass of electron and bringing the term to the other side, automatically as it goes the other side becomes 1 by 10 to the power of minus 4. When it goes upside, it becomes 10 to the power of 4, okay. So we can write it as 10 to the power of 4, I am writing it as 1000 divided by the into 1.6 divided by 9.1 into the mass of proton. So, the value is approximately mass of electron will be 1837 times the mass of proton. So, when you multiply the mass of electron with 1837 times, that will be the mass of proton. So, mass of proton is very high when compared with the mass of electron. So, the ratio here what we have calculated, the mass of electron is nearly equal to the mass of one atom of hydrogen. It will be 1 divided by 1837. So, when we are going for calculating the mass of electron to the mass of proton, this will be 1 divided by 1837, or if I arrange this particle once 1837 into the mass of electron will be equal to the 1 into mass of proton, what we have just now calculated. Okay. So, mass of electron by mass of proton will be 1 by 1837. So, from these values it is very clear that option C is the correct. From these values it is very clear that mass of proton is nearly 1800 times more than the mass of electron. So, of course, when you observe with respect to the neutron also, we know that neutron mass is slightly more than the mass of proton. Okay, it is 1840 times more mass when compared with the electron. So, similarly, if we go for calculating the mass of electron to the mass of neutron, this will be 1 by 1840. 1840. So, otherwise we can take it as 1840 into mass of electron will be equal to mass of neutron. So, this is the value that we can expect for neutron. Of course, in this case they are asking about electron and proton, but you can also calculate the same way for the mass relation between electron and neutron. In that case, mass of neutron will be 1840 times to the mass of electron. So, these values are very important as far as the competitive examinations are concerned. Okay. Right. Next one. The name electron was proposed by. Who has proposed the electron? How the electron will be, came to discovered. In that case, if we observe the experiment carried out is discharge tube experiment. Okay. So, discharge tube experiment was carried out by J.J. Thomson. Okay. The experiment was carried out by Thomson, but of course, the name is given by, the electron name is given by Stoney. So, who has proposed the name of the cathode ray as electron? Stoney has proposed the name as electron. So, G.J. Stoney is the correct answer. Actually, the experiment was carried out by J.J. Thomson, no doubt. So, in that case, he said the name, he has given the name as cathode rays. Okay, the rays which are moving towards the anode and looking that they are coming from the cathode. So, therefore, the rays are named as cathode rays by J.J. Thomson. But actually, because of the negative charge that is present and it is the fundamental particle or the universal particle of all the matter. So, these particles, the cathode rays are named as electrons by Stoney. Okay. Increasing order for the values of E by M of electron, proton, neutron and alpha particle. So, we have to calculate the E by M value of electron, proton, neutron and alpha particle, and then we have to arrange them in the increasing order of the values of E by M we have to arrange. Okay. Right. First we will take for electron. Okay. For electron, E by M value. In the case of electron, charge is it is taken as 1, okay, and mass can be taken as, how the mass can be taken? Generally the charge is taken as 1, mass is taken as approximately the 0, okay, and for proton, the E by M value is given as, charge is 1, so we are going to take it as plus 1, okay, mass approximately 1 u we use for calculating the mass of proton, and then neutron if we observe, in the case of neutron, the E by M value if we observe, neutron is a neutral particle, so charge is 0 by mass is 1, mass is 1. Okay. And similarly alpha particle. What is alpha particle? So in the case of alpha particle, if you observe, alpha particles are nothing but the helium nuclei. Alpha particle is helium nuclei. Helium will be 2 and 4. This is what we have learned already when we are discussing the basic concepts of chemistry or basic principles of chemistry. There we have discussed the element symbol with atomic number and mass number. Okay. So E by m value for alpha particle, that is helium nucleus. Alpha particle means it is going to have 2 positive charges. Okay. Alpha particle is a helium with 2 positive charges. So here if we observe helium, the charge is 2, okay, mass is 4, 4 is the mass. Okay. Now we have written the E by m values for all electron, proton, neutron and alpha particle. Simplifying these ones, 1 by 0 it will be infinity. Okay. 1 by 1 for proton, 1 by 1 it is 1 only. Neutron 0 by 1 it is 0, right. And in the case of alpha particle, if you observe, it is 2 ones are 2 twos are, so 1 by 2. So this will be 0.5 only, 0.5. Okay. So if you compare the E by m values, which is having highest value, E by m value is highest for the electron, okay, and the lowest for the neutron, and of course in between we have alpha particle and then proton. So it is neutron, alpha particle, proton and then electron. Electron E by m value coming out to be infinity, proton E by m value coming out to be 1, neutron E by m value is coming out to be 0, whereas alpha particle E by m value coming out to be 1 by 2, or it is can be taken as 0.5. Okay. So now if you observe the arrangement, increasing, actually they are asking us to look for the increasing order. Increasing means we have to start with the lowest value. Lowest value is neutron. So neutron has the lowest value as 0. Then alpha particle which has 0.5, 0.5, and then proton, proton E by m value is 1, and lastly we have electron whose E by m value is infinity. So this is the correct increasing order: neutron, alpha particle, proton and then electron. If they are asking us to write in a decreasing order, actually this is the increasing order. If they are asking us to calculate the decreasing order, or if they are asking us to write in a decreasing order, in that case what we have to write in a reverse way. Okay. Electron will be the highest one, then the proton and then the alpha particle, lastly the neutron. So the order of E by m values, whether it is increasing, in that case neutron, alpha particle, proton and electron. If it is decreasing, in that case it will be electron, proton, alpha particle and lastly the neutron whose value is 0. Okay. So this is how we are going to calculate. Okay. First write the electron E by m value. Charge is 1, mass is generally taken as 0. It is mass is very small for electron. So therefore we are neglecting it, because we are taking the mass of proton as 1, mass of neutron as 1. Just now we have seen mass of electron or mass of proton is 1837 times the mass of electron. So the value is very small. So therefore we are neglecting. E by m value I am calculating for electron as 1 by 0. So it is infinity. Proton value 1 by 1, charge is 1, mass is also 1. So it is 1. Neutron, charge is 0, mass is 1. So 0 by 1 it is 0. For alpha particle is helium nucleus with the 2 positive charges. E by m value is, since it has 2 positive charges, so charge is 2. Okay. What is mass? The atomic mass 4. So 4 is the mass, 2 by 4, 1 by 2 or 0.5. Okay. So this is how we have calculated, and based on this we can easily give the order of increasing and decreasing orders for the E by m values of electron, proton, neutron and alpha particle. Okay. Right. Should start with the neutron. So 3 options are with the neutron. It should end with electron. So only 2 options are having a neutron starting and electron as a ending one. And if you observe here, D option is correct: neutron, alpha particle, proton and electron. In the case of C option, it is starting with the neutron, ending with the electron, but in between the proton and alpha particle values are changed. Alpha is only 0.5, whereas proton is 1. So that is not the correct order. Okay. Therefore D option is the correct option for this particular question. Okay. Right. Yeah, charge of 1 mole of electron is, what is the charge of 1 mole of electron? As we have discussed while we are dealing the discovery of electron, there we have came to know about the charge of electron. Charge of electron, who has given the charge of electron? The charge of electron is given by Mulliken, is it? Our famous oil drop experiment. It is 1.6022 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs in terms of coulombs, okay. Or if you take it is minus 4.8 into 10 to the power of minus 10 electrostatic units, okay. But I am considering only the coulomb value, okay. Now this is the charge of 1 electron, okay. 1 mole of electron means how many electrons are present? 1 mole of electron means it is implying Avogadro number of electrons. Avogadro number of electron. What is Avogadro number? 6.00 into 10 to 6.022 into 10 to the power of minus 10 to the power of 23 plus 23. Okay. So now we have to calculate the charge on 1 mole of electron. Charge on 1 mole of electron. Okay. Charge on 1 mole of electron. How you are going to calculate? We know 1 mole means Avogadro number of electrons. 1 electron charge is this much. So just multiply the Avogadro number with the charge. So Avogadro number into the charge. What is Avogadro number? It is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 into 1.6022 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Okay. So when you go for calculating this value, we are going to get around 96,500 coulombs. 96,500 coulombs. So 96,500 coulomb, this value is considered as 1 Faraday. It is taken as 1 Faraday. So the charge present on 1 mole of electron is 96,500 coulombs. 96,500 coulombs. Okay, and that 96,500 coulomb is considered as 1 Faraday. Okay, if it is 2 into 96,500, then it is 2 Faraday. If it is 3 into 96,500, that will be 3 Faraday. If it is 4 into 96,500 coulombs, then it will be 4 Faradays. So the Faraday value is equal to 96,500 coulombs. Okay. So charge of 1 mole of electron is 96,500 coulombs, or we can also call it as 1 Faraday. In order to respect the Faraday scientist who has done very huge amount of experiments or the concepts with respect to the electrochemistry. There he has used the electricity in order to know the processes that are taking place within the chemical compounds, and in order to honor that scientist, 96,500 coulombs was given the name as 1 Faraday. So the charge present on 1 mole of electrons will be 96,500 coulombs, or we can call it as 1 Faraday. We can call it as 1 Faraday. So among the options, if we observe, correct is option C. Option C is the correct answer. Okay. So 1 Faraday is the charge present on 1 mole of electrons. The ratio of specific charge of an electron to that of a proton. So they are asking us to calculate the specific charge of electron to the specific charge of proton. Okay. This is ratio they are supposed to, they are asking us to calculate the ratio of specific charge of electron to specific charge of proton. Specific charge we know it is taken as E by M. E by M ratio is called as specific charge. Okay. So E by M of electron divided by E by M of proton. So since if the charges present on electron is minus 1, whereas the charge present on the proton is plus 1, so 1 1 we are going to take for the electrons. So the charge is generally ruled out in these two cases. Okay. So if you observe, this becomes mass of proton by mass of electron. Mass of proton by mass of electron. So in that case, we know that in the previous we have calculated, what is that? 1837 into mass of electron will be equal to mass of proton. So substituting this value over there, what we are going to get? 1837 into mass of electron divided by mass of electron. So mass of electrons will get cancelled out. So what we are going to get the ratio as 1837 divided by 1. 1837 divided by 1, or you can say the ratio coming out to be 1837 is to 1. 1837 is to 1. So what we are doing here? We are taking the specific charge of electron, dividing it with the specific charge of the proton. Specific charge of electron, specific charge means it is a ratio of charge to mass. So charge of electron divided by mass of electron divided by charge of proton by mass of proton. Charges are same, of course their magnitudes are different, but the charges gets cancelled out. So what we are going to left with? 1 by MeE divided by 1 by MP, that is 1 by mass of electron divided by 1 by mass of proton. So mass of proton goes up, it becomes mass of proton divided by mass of electron. Mass of proton in the first question or second question we have calculated 1837 times of mass of electron will be equal to mass of proton. Substituting the same value here, instead of mass of proton I am substituting this value. Mass of electron gets cancelled out, so we are going to get the ratio as 1837 is to 1. Okay. So if you observe the answers, yeah, 1837 is to 1 is the correct option for this particular question. Okay, right. Ratio of mass of proton and mass of electron. Ratio of mass of proton and mass of electron is, just now we have done this one. This is 1837 by 1. 1837 by 1, or you can take it as 1.837 into 10 to the power of 3. 1.837 into 10 to the power of 3. So it will be 1.8 into 10 to the power of 3. So option B is the correct option. Okay. In the previous one only we have done the ratio. What is that? Mass of proton to mass of electron is 1837 by 1. 837 we can write it as 1.837 into 10 to the power of 3. So correct option is B. 1.8 into 10 to the power of 3 is the correct option in this particular question. Okay. Yeah, we come across an advanced level one or more than one correct type answers. One or more than one correct type answers. In that case, which of the following is the basic postulate of Dalton's atomic theory? Which of the following is basic postulates of Dalton's atomic theory? So if we observe first one, atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Yes, this is the basic postulate of Dalton's atomic theory. Atoms neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. What happens? Just a transfer of atoms takes place, that's it. Okay. In a compound, the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant. In a compound, for example, if you take water, okay, the relative number as well as the kinds of atoms are constant. So yes, so in the case of water we have 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So the number as well as the kind of atoms are going to remain constant. That is to say that compound will have a constant proportionality of the elements combination. Okay. Atoms of all elements are alike. Atoms of all elements are alike, including their masses. No, atoms of an element. If you take one element, its all atoms are alike, including the mass, but not atoms of all the elements. What here mentioned? They are mentioned about all elements. No, atoms of only an element will be alike, including their masses. So here all elements is mentioned, so this is not the postulate of Dalton's theory. Each element is composed of extremely small particles called atoms. Each element is composed of small particles called atoms. Yes, so all the matter is made up of small particles called atoms. So option D is also correct. So here A is correct, B is correct, D is correct, whereas C is incorrect statement. Okay. So basic postulates if you observe for the Dalton's theory, A, B, D are correct. This is correct, and this is also correct. Okay. Yeah, coming to the next one or more than one correct type answers. which of the following statements are correct about a hydrogen atom? About a hydrogen atom, which of the following statements are correct? Hydrogen, H is the hydrogen, it is the smallest atom. Yes, it is the smallest atom. Hydrogen is the smallest atom, that is correct. It exists in 2 isotopic forms. No, hydrogen exists in 3 isotopic forms. Hydrogen exists in 3 isotopes. We have discussed while we are dealing the average atomic mass. In order to calculate the average atomic mass, we are going to take the isotopes into consideration, right? There we have discussed that hydrogen has 3 isotopes. What are they? Hydrogen, H11, D12, T13. Hydrogen, deuterium, tritium are the 3 isotopes. Here it is given as 2 isotopes, so this is wrong statement. So this is not a correct statement with respect to the hydrogen atom. It has no neutron. Yes, hydrogen does not have any neutron, it contains only 1 electron and 1 proton. If you observe here, this is atomic number. So here it is giving us the number of electrons. This is the mass number. Mass number will give number of protons and number of neutrons. Combinedly we write it as mass number. So here if you observe, mass number and atomic number both are same. That is to say that neutron value is 0. Electrons are 1. So 1 electron is present and 1 proton is present. No neutrons are present in the case of hydrogen. So option C is also correct. It has no neutron. Yes. Its atomic number is 2. Atomic number of hydrogen is 1. So it is not correct. So this is also, the fourth statement is also wrong statement. So if we observe, how many correct answers are there? A is correct, C is correct. So A and C are the correct options for this particular question. Okay. Particle in cathode ray. One or more than one correct type answers if we observe. Particles in cathode rays. In cathode rays, what are those particles that are going to be produced? They have a unit negative charge. Yes, unit negative charge is present because cathode rays are nothing but electrons. They will have a unit negative charge, -1 is the charge present on the electrons. So that is correct. A is correct option. Travels in a straight line. Yes, cathode rays travel in a straight line. We have seen in the last class in the experiment, the rays are producing in one area and they are moving straightly towards the anode. Okay, they travel in straight line. Yes, they have no charge. No, they have a unit negative charge. So no charge is not a correct option. Carry a positive charge. So no, they carry a negative charge. So this is also wrong. So what are the correct options in this case? Cathode rays particles will have a unit negative charge and they travel in straight line. They travel in straight line and they have a unit negative charge. Okay. So A and B are correct options, whereas C and D are the wrong options in this case. Matrix matching type. In the case of matrix matching type, 2 columns will be given. You have to correlate the parameters which are given in column 1 to the parameters that are given in the column 2. Okay. So here if we observe column 1, A, matter is made up of small particles. B is all elements have isotopes. C, atoms of same element are like in all respects. So atoms of same elements are alike in all respects. Okay. The word atom is given by. Okay. So 4 parameters or the statements are given in this case, and we have to look at the statements given in column 2. Dalton's theory, Maharshi Kannada, Democritus, and modern atomic theory. So you have to match one to the other, right? Matter is made up of small particles. Matter is made up of small particles. So this is the concept given by Maharshi Kannada. Okay, this is the concept given by Maharshi Kannada, and the word atom is given by atom. For the first time, the word is given by the Greek philosopher Democritus. Okay, so therefore we can correlate D to the R. Okay, the word atom is given by Democritus, whereas the matter is made up of small particles, Anu and Paramanu. The concept is given by Maharshi Kannada. Okay, and all elements have isotopes. So the isotope concept was not there in the case of Indian philosophers or in the case of Greek philosophers or whether in the case of the John Dalton's atomic theory. There is no mentioning about the isotopes. So the isotopes must be, the existence of isotopes for the elements is the concept of modern atomic theory. So the atomic theory what we are using now is generally called as modern atomic theory. So that modern atomic theory is going to give a concept. What is that? According to the modern atomic theory, all elements will have isotopes. So all elements have isotopes is the concept of modern atomic theory, right? And see, if we observe, atoms of same element are alike in all respects. So this is the statement given by John Dalton in his atomic theory. So atoms of same element are alike in all respects. Atoms of different elements will be different in their properties, but atoms of same element will have same properties. Okay, so the atoms of same elements are alike in all respects is the concept given by John Dalton. So here if we observe, A is correlated to Q, that is matter is made up of small particles, Maharshi Kannada. B in column 1 is correlated to all atoms have isotopes, modern atomic theory, it is yes. C, the atoms of an element are alike in all respects, it is correlated to the P, okay. And D option in column 1 correlated to R, that is Democritus. He is the person who has actually used the word atom. Atom is the word introduced by Democritus. According to him, atom means atomos, means indivisible particle, the particle which further cannot be divided. Okay. So he says that Democritus says that when you take matter and go on cutting it into small pieces, you are going to end a stage where you are going to get a particle, that particle is further not divisible, and that indivisible particle he named them as atoms. Okay. So atom is the word given by Democritus. Of course the same atom is used by John Dalton, and therefore we says atoms of an element are alike in all respects, and matter is made up of very small particles. Of course Anu and Paramanu is given by Maharshi Kannada. Okay. So this is how we are going to correlate. A is correlated to Q, B to S, C to P, D to R. Okay. Let us see one more. Can you please try this one? Mass of neutron, mass of proton, mass of electron, charge of proton. Mass of proton, mass of electron, mass of neutron, and the charge of protons are given in this particular column. Okay. Column 2, the values are given: plus 4.802 in the number of minus 10 ESU, 0.00054, 1.00727 AMU, 1.00867 AMU, 1.67493 to the power of minus 27 kilogram. Okay. So now you have to look at the correlation of mass of proton and the mass of neutrons, electron mass as well as the charge of proton. Can you try this one? Can you try this one? Just try to correlate the options given here. Okay. Yes. So here mass of neutron, mass of neutron we can correlate it to 1.600867 AMU. Okay. And mass of neutron is also given as 1.675. So it is this way also. So here if we observe the property given in column 1 is mapped to the two properties in column 2. Okay. And the mass of proton we know the value is 1.00727 AMU. Okay. Mass of electron mass of electron is 0.00054. Charge of the proton is plus 4.802 into the power of minus 10 ESU. In terms of ESU, the positive value plus 4.8 into the power of minus 10 is the charge of a proton. Okay. So, charge of proton, mass of electron, mass of proton, mass of neutron are correlated. So, if you go on mapping A2, so here mass of neutron is mapped to 1.00867, so it is yes, also T 1.675 into the power of minus 27 kg. So, in terms of the same kg, what will be the mass of a proton? In the case of mass of proton, we can write it as 1.673 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kilogram. We can use the same minus 27 kilogram. Okay. So, here the mass of a proton is 1.673, not 675, but is 675 means it should be mass of a proton. Okay. So, similarly, if we observe B, mass of proton is correlated to R, C is mass of electron correlated to Q, and D, charge of proton correlated to P. Okay. So, we have gone correlation this way, and one option in A, column 1 is mapped to two options in column 2. Okay. So, this kind of mapping can also be expected. So, this kind of mapping can be expected in the advanced level examinations. Okay. Right. I think you got a clear idea about these concepts, how we are going to handle the mappings in one to the other. Okay. And here the value is given as plus 4.8 into 10 to the power of minus 10 ESU for the charge of proton, or the charge of proton can also be given as plus 1.6022 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. Okay. So, this kind of charge may also be given. Okay. And similarly, here the mass of electron, it is given as in terms of grams. Okay. This is given as in terms of grams, actually 0.00054 is the grams. Okay. Or they may be given, there is also a chance of giving this one in the form of 0.54 milligrams. So, even we can expect a 0.54 milligram value as the mass of the electron, or the mass of electron can also be given in terms of 9.11 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kilogram, or it can also be given as 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 28 grams. 28 grams. So, they may be given in this way, or 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kilograms. So, whatever may be the values given. So, you should be very careful in mapping the column 1 properties to the column 2 properties, and thereby you can easily identify the correlation. Advanced level, as I told you, there will be a chance of mapping of one property of the column 1 to the 2 or more than 2 properties of column 2 as well. So, you should be very careful whenever, in this case if you observe clearly, column 1 they have given only 4 properties, but in column 2 they have given 5 properties. So, there is a chance of mapping one of the property of column A with the 2 properties of column 2 or column B. Okay. So, the mapping is very crucial, and you should do it in a careful manner, so that you can get good marks in this case. Okay. I think you have got enjoyed in this particular topic with respect to the advanced level questions. If you still have any doubts with respect to the advanced level questions, you can post me so that I can clarify your doubts. Okay. And in the next class we are going to see, or we are going to look into the atomic models. So, just now and in the previous classes we came to know that atom is further divided into small particles like electron, proton and neutron, and now the question arises how these particles are arranged in the atom and what is exactly the shape or the size of the atom. So, based on that the atomic theories were proposed, and we are going to look into the different atomic theories that are proposed throughout the years and what we are using now. We are going to discuss the modern atomic theory at the end. Okay. So, I think you got a clear idea about the advanced level questions in this class. We will come up with one more interesting topic in the next class. Until then, have a nice time. Thank you.